Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the HPR Chronicles with Shakur and Smith. We were off for Labor Day, right, Crispy?
Yes, we were.
And now we're back. We shoot these on Monday, guys, for Wednesday. I don't mind letting that little secret out. It doesn't matter. As long as you guys get the information on our other podcast, we shoot it once a month and it comes out every week. Anyway, welcome back. I am Director Imani Shakur. This is Smith.
Hello.
It's a podcast about history, politics, and race from a pop culture's perspective. We always try to break it down simple. I'm a filmmaker from Trinidad and Tobago. And I've traveled a lot, and I've always had a love for history and politics. Chris is a veteran of the Army Reserves that works for the VA with a passion for history and politics. Mm-hmm. So, thanks for tuning in on all the platforms, iTunes, those who watch us on YouTube, Spotify, Google, Stitcher, Buzzsprout, all of you guys, the cell phone apps. Thanks for tuning in. Keep listening. Keep checking in. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube. It's about truth. We're not pro any race. We're just pro truth. If the truth offends you, we're sorry, not sorry, as we always say. And today we're going to talk about Spain because I'm a little jet lagged, guys. So that's why I sound so slow and
lethargic.
Thanks, Christy. I can't even say the word. So I just got back like early Saturday morning, like at 1 a.m. late Friday night. So I'm still a little jet lagged, even though I slept 8 hours and had a workout today and stuff like that. I'm still tired. It's so weird, but it makes sense if you're 9 hours difference. Man. It's crazy.
Even though exercise should give you energy, you're still tired.
Still tired. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Lazy Monday.
Yeah. So today we're just going to talk about Spain. I mean, people that's been listening, we usually pick a couple of topics and we'll, Chris will choose one, I'll have one, we go back and forth. But today we kind of decided to just talk about the trip to Spain. Crispy was actually supposed to go, but things didn't work out. Next time he'll go. So I ended up going alone and meeting some family there the first day. Then the next day, just hanging out, visiting, doing some historical stuff, a little work stuff, And every year I try and do something different, try and go somewhere different. Because like I always say, you haven't lived until you've seen the world. That's like my thing that I like to say. It really opens your eyes.
I mean, I haven't gone overseas a lot, but I do agree, like, you can't just live in your own little bubble, your own little town. You gotta, be in one state.
And the funny thing is, I totally see where have you gone, Chris? I know you
Dominican Republic.
I forgot,
But then everything else is going to be. Well, I've done cruises, along the Caribbean.
Oh, okay, stuff like that. But you haven't been to Europe yet.
No.
Stuff like that. Yeah, and it's funny. I definitely see him having a good time and really appreciating Europe the way I do. I definitely do. And when it comes to Spain, it was kind of eye-opening for me, Chris, because I really think growing up in the United States, when you hear about colonization and oppression and stuff like that, the first thing you really don't think Latin.
Yeah.
You really don't think Spaniards, even though you hear Christopher Columbus.
Yeah.
Where I'm from, Trinidad and Tobago was also colonized by Christopher Columbus in Spain. As a matter of fact, we have a port. I was born not far from this port, and it's called Port of Spain because when Columbus got there, they named it Port of Spain. Yeah, and they named everything on the island that I'm from in Trinidad after Spain. You know what I mean? It's technically it's an island of South America, so it's technically a South American island. It literally sits off the coast of Venezuela. It's the furthest most Caribbean island in the Caribbean.
Yeah.
It's just not considered South America because the UK claimed it, but that's just a technicality. Had Columbus never left, I'd be speaking Spanish right now, which I'm planning on learning, especially after this trip in Spain. And it would be considered a South American island.
Got it. Instead, it's just kind of considered part of the Caribbean.
Yeah, they just consider it part of the British Virgin Islands, but it's not.
Yeah.
it's a part of Spain. Everything we have is a Spaniard. Everything.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I've never done research on Trinidad, Tobago, but my grandfather went there, and I remember kind of looking it up, just to see where it was at, because I was like, what's that,
Yeah, it's literally right next to South America, And so as I was saying, coming up in America and, learning history in school and stuff like that, even though you hear about Christopher Columbus and you hear that he's from Spain, I don't think the average person, I know I didn't, as much as I connect with history, I don't think the average person connects that it's literally Latino, Spanish people that came and colonized and conquered. And I think part the reason is, and I'll let you chime in, is because of slavery. Yeah. And that narrative of slavery and Caucasians kind of dominates the information cycle.
Gotcha. Yeah.
I mean, we're
so used to it being of European. When you think European, you always think of
you always think white.
And
even when
you think
also because whites control the narrative in the United States. So when you think European, you think white.
But when you think of Christopher Columbus, it doesn't pop in your head, even though you know he's from Spain or whatever. It's like the look of him is still
in your mind. You're automatically associating European with white.
Yes.
Like Caucasian. You know what I mean?
I get it.
So I mean, one of the great things about travel is that you learn this kind of stuff and you learn new stuff. So one of the most shocking, eye-opening things to me was going there and seeing that, wait a minute, these are Spanish people. These you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
These people, they're Latin. Everyone says hola and como estás. So then you think like, wait a minute, hold up. So, some of my Mexican friends and stuff like that, Mexico was also colonized by Spain. Yeah. And some of my South American friends, Brazil and this and the other, who was colonized by Portugal.
Portuguese,
you know what I'm saying? And a little bit of Spain too. Mm-hmm. Then you realize, wait a minute. You know what I'm saying? This is exactly where it derives from. Even though you just hear, and you've always heard it, but like I was telling you, I've always associated Spain with just white people that just speak Spanish.
Yeah, I remember you.
Because growing up in America, that's what you would actually think.
Correct.
That's what based on what you're taught and the narrative that they perpetuate.
I mean, there's almost like really no picture. I mean, the pictures or anything I recall ever seeing, they just all look alike. So, in your mind, I get it. Yeah. But hearing what some of the stuff you shared, it makes sense why everyone down there looks, why it is so different. I mean, it's different there. And I'm guessing everyone looks you're gonna have blondes, brunettes. Yeah, I'm just, and this is not just talking about women. It's just people, hair colors and eyes are all gonna be different.
Right. That's another
dark
thing too.
And white.
So again, the first thing was that, wait a minute, these are all Spanish people, they're Latin people that I grew up with, and because they colonized my friends' generations and all that. Mm-hmm. And another thing as well is you didn't see that many. Dude, I can count on one hand the blonde Spaniards I saw.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh. You didn't see a bunch of Spaniards with like blue and green eyes. You saw some light-eyed Spaniards. But the majority that I saw were brunette. Okay. The majority. I remember I was eating when I went to Madrid. I was eating at this place called Vips. Mm-hmm. And Vips would be like a cross between McDonald's and Denny's, if that makes sense. Because it's not just some bum fast food like McDonald's. But it's not just this sit-down diner like Denny's. It's literally right in the middle of that, which I've never seen before.
Have you ever been to a Culver's?
No, I haven't been to Culver's.
It might be more like
that's what Culver's is? That's here in town?
No, it's not here in town. This is in Wisconsin where I...
Okay, yeah.
So where you can get sort of like fast food, but everything you're going to order, you're sitting down. But you can get like a meatloaf and something or a chicken dinner.
Right. That's what this place, Vips was.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It was right in between like Denny's and McDonald's for people, and it's a weird thing. And that was I remember sitting there having lunch. You know, I was touring the city in Madrid. They had, everybody that's been to Spain, they know they have these hop on, hop off buses.
Okay.
Where you can pay for a 1 day or a 2 day pass. Mm-hmm. It's genius, and it's one of the best ways to actually see the city. And they have it in Madrid too. So basically, you pick your route. So when I was in Spain, I did and they have the routes color coded.
Okay.
So the red route was the south of Spain, and then the blue route was north, and green was more on like the eastern side. You know. Okay. So one day I did the red route. Mm-hmm. No, I did the blue route. Then the next day I did the red and green route.
Oh, okay.
So and what's genius about this, and I was like, man, I need to start a company like this in America, in all the major cities, because you can hop on the hop off bus, go to the first historical spot, get off, and they run every 5-10 minutes.
Damn.
So you can stay, say, at the at I forgot the church that, what's his name, Gordo built like all the architecture. Okay. The Sagrada Familia. Okay. You can stay there as long as you want.
Yeah, because you don't have to worry about the time. Yeah,
you can stop off, explore the Sagrada Familia for an hour. Yeah. Jump back on the hop on, go to the next one, hop off as long as you want. Some, or if you think you only need photos, you just take a photo. You know what I'm saying?
Turn around.
Some, if you want to hop off for 5 minutes, grab an ice cream, take a few shots, hop on the next. It's genius.
Right.
So anyway, that's what I did in Madrid as well, because they had one to hop on, hop off, and theirs was Route 1 and Route 2.
Yeah.
So what I did was, because I knew I was there just for 1 full day, so I did both routes the entire day. So it was just a day of us touring the city. So I stopped off at Vips for lunch in between my Route 1 and Route 2.
That's nice.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's cool.
so I ended up seeing these two really old ladies having lunch. Okay. And they had to be the whitest Spaniards I saw on my entire trip. Oh. Because their hair was almost blonde, and they looked white, their skin complexion, but you could still tell that they were Spaniards. Okay. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Everyone else, though, looked like Claudia, looked like, friends we have.
Okay.
And, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They don't have that just white Caucasian complexion.
I know what you're saying, yeah.
They were just Latin. Most of them were brunette. Most of them. I didn't even see that many blondes, anything, bro. It was interesting, man. Okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I forgot where I was going with that whole thought, but you.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. It's all good. I forgot where I was going with the whole thought, but that it was shocking to me to see that these were just Latin people in Europe. That's why I was going with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This whole time, I never really.
So, what language did you think they were going to be speaking when you got there?
I knew they would speak Spanish because I always knew that everyone else spoke Spanish because of their colonization. I knew that. Yeah. But I just thought they were white people that spoke Spanish. Okay. I never really associated that. Wait a minute. No, this is a completely different culture of people that went and colonized the world as well as the Europeans did. The white Europeans. You know what I'm saying? Because they're still European.
Yeah. I got it. Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say?
But they're Latin.
But they're Latin European. Okay. You know what I mean? And they're. And like I was explaining to you the other day, when you think about it, they actually did more damage than the white Europeans.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean,
just like how my friend Melissa was like, she was upset. She was like, "No, I'm Aztec. They came and colonized my country in Mexico."
Yeah.
She was like, "I'm Aztec." Even though she speaks Spanish, like everybody I saw in Spain, she was still upset
at the fact.
Yeah. It's almost. And it's almost like, and you know what's funny? It was interesting when she responded in that fact, because it made me think. As much as white Europeans and Spanish Europeans intermixed with our race and came and took us from Africa, brought us here and stuff like that, we don't get upset because we're mixed with white. When have you ever heard a black person go, no, I'm pissed. They went and took us from Africa, and now I'm lighter than what I usually am.
Yeah, no. I've never thought of that one.
But you see what I'm saying? But it's interesting that someone from Mexico or Brazil or whatever, they feel a different sense of pride. Like, wait a minute. Yeah, I get you, but I'm asking. I don't like the fact that
they came in
that we speak Spanish.
Yeah, and it's probably in a way it's different for them where we were taken, and it's a different upset. I don't, in a way, because I would say for myself, the idea that they brought the slaves over and whatnot, but it would seem different, like almost Johannesburg when we South Africa, and how that land. They came and then they stayed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so with South America, their influences, they wiped out other civilizations or whatever.
They stopped and got slaves in Africa. Brought them over. And I have to say there was some beautiful people there, and and when I went to Cuba, that was also colonized by Spain and stuff, and slaves were taken too. Seeing the original Spaniards and seeing Cuba and knowing that I'm black and from Africa, I saw why the mix was so beautiful. I mean, there's some beautiful people. I see why in Brazil and all these other countries and Puerto Rico and Dominican Republic, these people are gorgeous because they took Spaniards and Africans and went there and mixed with the indigenous folks of that land.
And I was thinking about when you said that to me before, it was like, not everyone should be, one thing is, at that time, if you weren't, healthy enough, you weren't going to survive. Right. Just dated. The lifespan was not as long. Yeah. So therefore, the best of the best would, carry on. So it almost sounds like a white power or something like that. No, but no, I'm just, it's just the best genes, or someone who's strong enough to survive, and therefore it made sense.
Right. And it's funny. A lot of the African brothers I saw there, and this is the same when I went to Italy years ago, when I went to Sicily years ago, and the same when I went to Spain last week. All of the African brothers there that I saw are as dark as this cord. You know what I mean?
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
So when you look at the original Africans we were a dark people. We're lighter now. Because of the intermixing and this, that, and the other, and all that stuff. But when you look at the original people that came from Africa, they were dark.
But wouldn't that also change as they
come south?
As they go north? Yeah.
I don't think so. Because even the Moroccans that they showed were all dark.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of Moroccan immigrants.
Yeah.
And this is something that we could look up, guys, to our listeners, know.
But I'll have to look at this one, check into this.
Yeah, but all the Moroccan immigrants, and you're right, the Ethiopians are of a different shade, but they're also mixed.
See? Yeah, I was going to say probably.
The Ethiopians were mixed with something. That's
it would make, so it sort of makes sense where that mix would happen, not only just because of, I think it's almost several different things, like mixing, and maybe even though it's hot, it's not the same heat, and it seemed like they covered themselves up where maybe down Africa they just didn't seem to. At least what I don't know. I'm just guessing. Sorry.
Well, let's touch on that for a sec. When you think about it, though, the Africans in Africa, they're dark, but they have a lot of melanin in their skin and it absorbs the sun.
Correct.
So they're not really affected the same as someone that's lighter with less
melanin.
Pigmentation. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that was another interesting thing. But like I said, for me, it was just eye-opening and realizing that, hey, these were just Spanish Europeans. It gave me a completely different perspective on South America and what Columbus did and who he was and the whole thing. And and he's actually celebrated there. They had a monument in Barcelona.
Mm-hmm.
They had a monument in Madrid in the middle of town celebrating Columbus. Huge monuments.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
It makes sense. for them.
Yeah, for them, because he went like I was telling you. I met the guy from Romania in Philly on my connecting flight to Spain, and he was saying how, the reason why they amassed so much wealth in Western Europe and not in Eastern Europe, because the people of Eastern Europe never went and colonized nations and brought any wealth back.
Got it.
And again, like I was telling you, that really struck a chord with me, because I never thought about it like that.
Yeah.
I was like, wait a minute, he's right. When have you heard of like the Slovakians or the Czechs or the people of Prague and whoever else?
And I remember
going to the Americas or wherever else and
doing some stuff and
colonizing and stuff like that. Even if you look at if you look at the countries that invaded Africa, I don't think none of them were none of the Eastern Europe countries. It's Italy, it's France, it's the Dutch, it's the UK. We could pull up the map, but if you look at matter of fact, I'll do it real quick for our listeners. But if you pull up the map, I don't even think an Eastern European country colonized Africa. Look it up real quick. I actually looked this up before. It's pretty interesting. They have it all color coded too.
If anything, they probably only invaded or took over countries that were near them.
Yeah, if they had wars, inner wars and stuff like that.
Because it made sense why those countries that you mentioned, because they all had sea ports that allowed them to have ships to go wherever. When you're landlocked, it really does inhibit where you can go from there. So the British, the French, the Spanish, the Portuguese, the Belgians, Germans, Italian, and one independent nation right here. They were actually independent. They weren't colonized at all. They weren't colonized. Yeah.
Which is what my friend I met in Philly was telling me while we was eating some Philly cheesesteaks. You know what I'm saying? He told me, like, if you think about it, we don't look like those countries because we never went and took anybody's wealth and amassed anybody's wealth.
Got it, yeah.
But that's what these other nations did. That's why they looked where they looked. That's why they amassed this amount of wealth. And it was interesting. I said, man, I never thought of it like that.
Yeah.
Again, if you look at who colonized Africa, you don't see an Eastern European country in here.
Yeah, no.
You know what I'm saying?
Not at all. Yeah.
It was none of them. They literally just did their own thing. They were busy just doing their own thing.
Dealing with it every day.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, even some of the Eastern European countries that border water masses, they didn't sail out and do anything. You know what I mean? Because there's some that border some water, but they didn't. You know what I mean? They could have traveled and did it, and you know what
I mean, the only thing I can think of is that it's almost like they came together because the way the map is, it's like they actually at some point had to agree, like, yeah, we'll give you this area and we'll take this, or you know what I'm saying? So
who knows, man? But we should do a show on it, which I want to do a show on it, but I mean, if you see what actually happened, it's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah. So again, that was another interesting aspect that I didn't think about and learn on this trip. Just on a whim, just sitting with a guy from Romania, eating cheesesteaks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And another interesting thing that I found out and learned and realized is that Catalonia, which was like, so there's this thing going on, and you know what? It's too much information. I'd really like us to just do a show on it.
Okay.
On Catalonia, because I think it'll be important.
So too much,
it's too much information. But I do want to touch on the fact that Barcelona was strictly Catalonia at one point, and it was first conquered by the Romans.
Okay.
And then everything switched over. This is back in like 1718 and stuff, 718 and stuff like that. I mean, early. I mean, 700 years before Columbus.
Yeah. Damn.
This was what, you know what I mean? A long time ago. And when I got there, I realized that some of the Catalan people they identify themselves as Catalonians. They don't even identify themselves as like Barcelona or Spaniards, and they're like, we speak Catalan, which is close to Spanish, but they speak a different language. You know, so if you're Spaniard and you speak Catalan, you can understand them and vice versa, but it's different.
Yeah.
And that's what they identify with. And a matter of fact, if you call them the city of Catalonia or Catalan, people actually like that more.
Yeah.
The people in Barcelona. You know, they don't like that part of their history. But there's a lot of information on it, and we'll just do a more in-depth show on the history of Spain and Catalonia and the Catalan language and stuff like that. But I kind of just want to touch on that because that's one of the first things you learn when you get there. You know, folks just automatically start telling you that, you know, we're really Catalan and, you know, we're Catalonia and, you know what I mean? And they're very proud of that who they are. That's what they actually identify with, which I thought was interesting. Cool. But yeah, you know, overall it was an interesting city. You know, it's one of the most visited places in Europe, and I definitely could see why, because there's like a little bit of everything there. Yeah. You know, yeah, it's just, you know, beaches, nightlife. The food is amazing. The people were really nice. You know, for our listeners, if you plan on going, you may read about all this pickpocketing and all this crime, but it's not as bad as what you're gonna actually read. You can go there and be safe and like have a good time. So don't let the internet or someone who just saw something there sway you. It's definitely a place you should visit. It's a must-see place. It's one of those places that has to be on your list. You know, and when you're in Europe, it's easy to fly around and really inexpensive, you know, to visit other countries.
That was interesting when you also mentioned how when you thought of it, you were like, I should go see Madrid. You know, and then you thought about the price. And then and when you said it to me, I was like, but then you also you went to say, and if I wanted to go back, it would cost me thousands of dollars because I'm again flying out there. And I was like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. So one part of that told me that if I were to go to Europe, have that extra money for flights.
Absolutely.
You never know.
Man.
Yeah.
Oh, it's worth it. Yeah. If I had more time, I would have gone to Sevilla. I would have gone to Valencia. Yeah.
Because the flights are every day.
Yeah.
So many.
Oh, yeah. Every hour.
Every
hour.
Back and forth. Yeah. Nice.
Every hour. Yeah, man. So, so when you go, if you go, don't worry about the pickpockets and the crime you hear about. It's not that bad at all. You know what I mean?
Just be smart about it, right?
Yeah, of course. But it's no worse than the United States. It's much safer than the United States. So, you know, if you're not worried about that here, definitely not worried about that there. And you know, and people say they prey on tourists, and you know what I have to say? There's so many tourists there that the chances of them picking you, you just have to be unlucky. You know what I'm saying? Chances of them just picking you. Yeah. I mean, there's millions of tourists there every day.
So you need to be doing something real.
I don't know, man.
To put a spotlight on yourself.
Yeah, just happen to be unlucky to get singled out to go, I'm going to try to mug that person. There's no violent crimes there, guys. They don't have any guns and stuff like that.
Oh, but wait.
Yeah, about stabbing and stuff.
The stabbing. How many?
Yeah. You know, that happened. It was some Moroccans. It was in the news. Because what I found out from the locals is that most of the people committing the crimes are not from there. They're the immigrants that's come for a refuge and stuff, the Moroccans and the Eastern Europeans and stuff like that.
But you also said that it was like 97. How many?
Like 18 murders or something for the whole year so far. Just 18.
So that's nothing compared to the gun violence that we have here. And I'm sure there's stabbings, and there's way more than 19 going on. So
we have 18, a minute probably? What's the crime statistic in the United States? Like 18 a minute just in California alone. Probably like 18 per minute. Yeah. So guys, it's safe. Don't believe the hype. And Madrid, if I could touch on the difference, it's funny, on my way back, when I was flying from Chicago to the U.S., I happened to sit next to a couple that had gone to Madrid and Spain last year. Okay. So the wife, Natalie, she goes, let me ask you a question, Imani. What did you think about Barcelona and Madrid? Give me what you think on both. And I said, you know what? That's a loaded question. She said, I know it is. That's why I asked you the question.
Okay.
And what she means by that is when you go to Madrid is so different culturally. I mean, it's like comparing Beverly Hills to Los Angeles. Okay. Downtown LA would be Barcelona. Okay. Madrid would be Beverly Hills. Oh. You know what I mean? Everything is like just regal and opulence and clean and pristine and completely different.
Yeah.
You know, they told me to don't wear my jewelry in Barcelona.
Okay.
And I wore it one night just to see what would happen. It was a social experiment. You know what I mean?
Am I going to get robbed today?
Yeah, that's basically why I wore it.
Yeah.
And people would look at me. You know, people who you would say is a shady character would look at me and they would just turn away.
Okay.
I'd give them a look and they would just turn away. In Madrid, they told me it was completely different, completely safe. Mm-hmm. I wore my jewelry the entire day.
And no one probably looked at it and just...
No one even looked at me. You know what I mean? Like everywhere. Wow. People would look like, oh man, he's wearing like some... I mean, even in America, no one walks around with the type of jewelry me and some of my entertainers,
true, too. Yeah.
My entertainment friends walk around with. So even in America, people look at my jewelry and ask me. So you could imagine there. So people did look and stuff like that, but it wasn't like in Barcelona where you could tell the person that was looking is kind of shady and may have had a thought or two. Mm-hmm. You know, I saw one or two of those types, but they ain't messing with me, and I was by myself. You know what I mean? But so yeah, the difference between Madrid and Barcelona, it's completely different. And again, when I went there, I didn't expect that. I kind of just expected a different city, kind of similar to Barcelona, and you know what I mean? Yeah. But it's just so different.
Wow.
I was like, wow. I mean, I literally saw people rolling around in Bentley trucks and stuff. Like, seriously.
Wow.
Yeah. Rolls. I was like, wow, this is interesting. It was so different from Barcelona. Yeah. And I told Natalie, the girl on the plane, I said, you know what? A good way to actually describe it is Barcelona has character and grit, and Madrid is just opulence. Okay. That's what I said. And she was like, that's a great way to describe it. And she said, what would you prefer? I said, I prefer Barcelona any day. And the reason is I could go north in Barcelona and it's that same opulence if I want to feel that. Like I'm in Beverly Hills or, you know, some of the nicer areas here in Southern Cali. And then if I want to just feel like I'm in a city downtown LA, I go a little south. Have some fun and hit the beach like Venice. You know what I'm saying? So I would prefer Barcelona over Madrid any day.
Okay.
You know, and don't get me wrong, Madrid also had its poor areas and what looked like projects and stuff like that. But even the projects looked nice. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got you.
You know.
Yep.
So you know, so yeah, even Madrid had its areas like that, but there was definitely a huge difference. Yeah, it was a big difference. And it was interesting. Yeah, it was definitely an eye-opening trip, man, and it gave me a different appreciation for Latin women. I really think I want a Latin girl now.
Okay. I totally understand.
You know what I'm saying? It gave me a completely different appreciation for Latino women, man. I gotta admit. It was just like, wow. I mean, I'm a man. You can't help but look. Yeah. I mean, they were just gorgeous, like just good looking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was like, okay, maybe I need to dive into that side of the relationship. You know, what else, man? What else do I want to tell you guys about Spain? Was there anything else?
I don't know.
I think that was it, man. Yeah, so yeah, that was it. It was a great trip, man, and I'm looking forward to going back, maybe visiting some of the other cities there sometime, and you know, and.
But now your next trip, you think will be where?
Probably Amsterdam.
Okay.
That's what I'm thinking.
I'm going to do my best to go to that.
Yeah, I heard so much about it, and there's like, you gotta go to Amsterdam, and a lot of my entertainment friends have gone and stuff like that. So I think I'm gonna do Amsterdam, and I'm probably just gonna do Egypt on like a separate trip.
Okay.
I have all these Egyptian tattoos, and people always ask me,
"Have you been?"
I'm like, nope, I ain't gonna knock Egypt off my list. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So next year I'll probably try and do both, Egypt but definitely Amsterdam for sure, which is in Denmark, right?
Yes,
or something like that.
I believe so.
I think it's Denmark. Yeah. So yeah, man. And if you go too, for our listeners, you don't. I mean, I was pretty much done with Spain in about 2.5 days, 3 days. You know, you can see everything
in just
pretty
a couple
much
days.
in 2 days. Because when I looked it up before I left, it said 4 days is all you really need.
Okay.
And I was there for 4 nights, 5 days. So I was done in 2.5 days, which is why I did that day when and flew to Madrid. Yeah,
it's probably easier when you're by yourself because then you don't have to worry about someone saying no or just slowing you down.
Yeah,
you're at your own little pace.
You're at your own pace. That's another thing I want to touch on too before we sign off. That's a part I wanted to mention to our listeners too. You know, I had always known of and seen people travel alone. When I have family members and cousins that's travel alone and stuff like that. And this was my first time taking a European trip alone. And I was a little worried at first being alone because I'd been to Europe so many times, but always with someone else, other people. And I'll admit I was a little worried, you know, but it's the best thing I could have ever done. And my daughter's aunt told me that. She said, Imani, I'm telling you, do it. Try it. You're gonna see what I mean. It's gonna be one of the best experiences in your life, and you end up learning a lot about you and who you are. Yeah, because you by yourself in a foreign country doing your own thing. So I have to say, it was an amazing experience, and I'll definitely do it again. Cool. Now I have no fear of going anywhere on my own. I mean, if no one wants to go next time, I'm like, I'm out. See you, peace. It's on next week.
I almost feel like it's like that first time you ever go to a movie or go to a restaurant by yourself. You know, first couple of times you're like, or thought of it is like, I'm just gonna look like that, that lonely person. But then you like once you get past it, it's like, I'm just going to go chill, and that would be, you would learn a lot about yourself.
Yeah, and it was a good time, man. And man, I got to say, you guys got definitely man up because even when I was there, I ran into like 3 different pretty cool ladies that were also, I mean, I'm talking about young too, that was traveling alone. One from Chile, she was literally by herself traveling alone, just exploring Spain. Wow. One from Nigeria, one from Israel. I mean, and I mean, this was a Chilean, this was a Nigerian and an Israeli. Wow. And they were young. I'm talking 20s. Yeah, the one from Chile, maybe she was late 20s, but the other 2, they were in their 20s for a fact. Okay. They were just vibing.
So, yeah.
You know what I mean? And like I said, I hear, like, I had a Brazilian girlfriend years ago, and she went by herself, too. Yeah. And I was like, damn, how was it? She was like, it was amazing. It's like, but guys don't do that. Yeah. It's weird. Men don't really do that. True. But I saw quite a few ladies that traveled alone. You know? Well,
I know guys who go on trips together.
Guys who go on guys trips together, but it's rare you hear of a guy go, hey, man, I'm going to ride out. I'm going to hit Greece. I'll see y'all next. Women do that on their own, and it trips me out. But men, we need to man up and start taking some trips alone, you know. You don't need your buddy pass with you.
Don't let someone waiting for someone make you miss out on going somewhere.
Miss out going somewhere and stuff like that. Yeah, man. So anyway, I guess that's it about Spain.
You know, just as you know, when you were mentioning, and I hemmed and hawed, but I told you as soon as So my point is, I'm not the type of friend to mislead you. As soon as I could, I was like, "Hey." Yeah. So.
Yeah, it was all good, man. Yeah, I had a blast. It was unbelievable. Really great experience. Just like I said, got that one checked off our list. So, thanks for tuning in, guys, to the HPR Chronicles with Shakur and Smith. We're back. Don't forget to subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed your Labor Day week. I was in Spain, as you just heard, for that whole week. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube. Thanks for listening in all the cool places. And we will see you guys next Wednesday. Wait, I forgot today in history. I'm tripping. I always give you guys some historical facts. And, let me see if I can find some historical facts about Spain, since we talked about Spain. Yeah, give me 1 second. Almost forgot. Historical facts about Spain. Here we go. Let me see if I can give you guys some fun facts about Spain. 79 interesting Spain facts. That's 79. That's a lot. Okay. The quill pen is thought to have originated in Spain about 1,400 years ago. Interesting. The Iberian Peninsula was one of several refugees during the last ice age, so it was largely from Spain that Northern Europe was repopulated after the ice age ended. Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, that's interesting.
Wow, that's interesting, yeah. The ancient Roman aqueduct of Segovia in Spain was built in the 1st century AD and still supplies water to the city. Wow. I didn't know that either.
Dang.
Interesting. And one more for you guys. In 1603, Spanish sailor Gabriel de Castilla, 1577 to 1620, became the first man to ever see Antarctica. Wow, and he was from Spain. That's interesting. Anyway, that's 4 fun facts. They weren't of this day, but just of Spain, since we talked about Spain today. And next week, we'll do the historical facts of that Wednesday, like we normally do.
Back to the schedule.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, thanks for checking in. That was my expose about my trip to Spain. And we'll see you guys next time. Peace out.
Dude.
Cool.